Okay, so new year, new me, right? Everyone's making those resolutions.
Yeah.
Lose weight, hit the gym, finally learn how to knit.
Right.
But um, today, on this deep dives, we're going to be trying something different. Instead of just focusing on like the typical New Year's resolutions, I thought it'd be fun to kind of like
Mm.
jump back in time
Okay.
a few hundred years
Okay.
and take a look at how someone approached new beginnings like way back when. So we're going to be checking out the resolutions of Jonathan Edwards,
Oh, wow.
who is this really influential thinker and preacher back in the 1700s. And, his resolutions are all about really living intentionally and making the most of your time,
Yeah.
which I feel like is something we can all use a little bit of, even hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
So are you ready to kind of like dive in?
Absolutely. I'm fascinated by this kind of stuff. The idea that like centuries-old wisdom can still be relevant today
Wait,
is pretty amazing.
Yeah. So like just to give you a taste of what we're dealing with here, one of Edward's resolutions was literally to live with all my might while I do live. Like how intense is that?
Whoa. That's a pretty powerful statement.
Oh, yeah.
It really makes you think about how you're living your own life.
Right. Like are we truly like
Yeah.
squeezing every ounce of goodness out of each day?
Yeah. Are we really giving it our all? I mean, it's easy to just go through the motions.
Exactly.
But Edwards is challenging us to be more intentional, to really embrace life.
Totally. And like speaking of intention, another one of his resolutions was never lose one moment of time, but improve it the most profitable way I possibly can.
Oh, wow.
Like talk about time management skills.
Right. It puts our like endless scrolling and binge watching into perspective.
Totally. It makes you think about all those like little pockets of time that we kind of just let slip away.
Yeah.
Like what if we could actually harness those and use them for something meaningful?
Yeah. I mean, I think for Edwards, it was all about maximizing his time for like personal growth and spiritual development.
Yeah, and like getting closer to God, basically.
Exactly. And he even resolved to avoid anything he'd consider mean in someone else. Like, can you imagine holding yourself to that standard?
Oh my gosh.
No.
It's aspirational.
Yeah, totally aspirational. So, we've been talking about moving forward and like embracing new beginnings, but I think it's important to also acknowledge that like our brains
Yeah.
can kind of get stuck in the past sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
we all have those moments we'd rather forget those embarrassing memories or regrets that just keep replaying in our mind.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like our brains are wired to focus on the negative sometimes.
Exactly.
And actually, that's something our second source today really dives into. It talks about how our brains are literally wired to retain and meditate on unpleasant memories that may provoke bitterness, regrets, and even revenge.
It's like our own personal highlight reel of like
Yeah.
all the bad stuff. Right. But like from an evolutionary perspective, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, it helps us avoid making the same mistakes again.
Yeah.
Keeps us safe.
Yeah, it's like a survival thing.
Exactly. But the problem is when we let those negative memories control us,
Right.
they can hold us back from moving on and embracing new opportunities.
Yeah, so it's this weird balance of like honoring the past, but not letting it define us.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do that?
Well, that's where this idea of God as a God of new beginnings comes in.
Okay.
This idea that no matter what we've done in the past, God can always make something new and beautiful out of it.
So it's like a clean slate kind of thing.
Exactly. There's this amazing quote from the source. He remains in the great and unfailing job of turning our mistakes into miracles, lifting us from grass to grace, and ensuring that we rise from the ashes of zero to the beauty of heroes.
Whoa. That's intense.
I know.
Like
right?
literally rising from the ashes. That's powerful.
Yeah, and I think it's such a hopeful message. It's never too late to start fresh.
No matter how badly we've messed up,
Exactly.
God's always there to help us turn things around.
Mhm.
So like, okay, this is all very inspiring and stuff,
Yeah.
but how do we actually like put these ideas into practice in our own lives?
Well, I think the first step is to like identify those areas where you're feeling stuck or held back by the past.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, it could be a relationship that's gone sour, or a career path you're not passionate about,
Oh, okay.
or even like a negative thought pattern that you just can't seem to shake.
Yeah.
And journaling can be a really powerful tool for this. Just take some time to reflect on what's holding you back and start envisioning a different future.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And remember that quote we talked about earlier? Our attitude will determine our altitude.
Right. Like our mindset is everything.
Exactly. If we believe that positive change is possible, then we're way more likely to actually make it happen.
Yeah, and it's not like we have to do this all alone, right?
Yeah. Of course not. I mean, talking to friends, family, or even a therapist can provide so much support and guidance.
Right. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this one question to kind of ponder.
Yeah. Okay.
What area of your life is calling out for a fresh start? Is it a relationship, a dream, a belief?
Whatever it is, just remember you have the power within yourself and you have the support of something much greater to create real and lasting change in your life.
Awesome. Thanks for diving in with me today. It's been a really thought-provoking conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, until next time, everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.